Hello, everybody. I had to start a new live and turn off my chat because people be saying stuff and I either don't see it because, like I said, I would have to bend down to see everything. But as far as questions and everything goes, I'm not really for answering them at the end of the day. I don't get paid from this. I don't get any type of support. So questions is something I'm just not willing to answer. Now, you want to support and then ask your question, then that could be worked out. But as far as me not gaining anything from this, I'm not willing to answer anyone's personal question. So if the reading does not help you, I can't help you. Period. I don't know if people feel like I'm mean for putting things like that, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not obligated to do this, but I still do it, and I don't get nothing from this at all. So feel how you want to feel, but y'all already know this is gonna be a collective reading. So take whatever resonates and leave the rest. Now this time I'm gonna pull some tarot first and just go from there. Don't really know how I want to really do it this time, but I'm just gonna go with the flow. I get tired of pulling my cards first sometimes anymore. 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 Alright, gotta keep these gems how they feel out. Alright, so we got the Hermit in the reverse collective. So this could be you, or this could be someone in your energy. You could be a Virgo. You could be lonely. You could be paranoid. You could be withdrawn. You could be antisocial. And you could be restricted at this time. Then we have potential for abundance in the reverse. Virgo towards Capricorn energy. Like I said, you could be a Virgo. You could have lack of money, poor financial control, and loss of opportunities. So you could be this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Maybe you are lonely at this time because of lack of money and poor financial control, loss of opportunities. Maybe you could be paranoid because of the lack of money that you have. You could be um, to yourself at this time antisocial because you feel restricted when it comes to your finances and certain opportunities. Then we have travel and news in the upright. Um, there could be some sort of news traveling to you. This could be traveling to you in speed and haste. There could be progress in a certain situation or progress when it comes to this news that's coming towards you, or there could be progress when it comes to traveling. If you are traveling collective, maybe this lack of money could have had you restricted when it came to traveling collective, but there could be progress soon. There could be movement, action. You could be taking action in regards to something. You could be taking action in a hurry, or there could be news that's coming to you in a hurry that, oh, excuse me, will give you progress or have you see progress in a certain situation or in regards to some sort of movement. So maybe you need to take action once this news come in collective. This news could be in regards to exciting times, or you will be traveling towards something or someone to have exciting times. You could be freed from something. So maybe this news is in regards to some sort of freedom, some sort of information that will make you feel free from a certain situation or a certain person collective, which will allow you to travel. You could be traveling for the holiday. There could be a holiday romance coming up. Something could be taken off in regards to romance. There could be progress in a romantic situation that you have with someone. Maybe this person is coming in bringing news to you, collective. Maybe bringing a romantic offer of some sort. But the momentum could be gaining in regards to this person coming wanting to travel to you or either bring you some sort of news, collective. But they could be thinking on their feet on how to travel to you or how to bring you some sort of news, collective. And we have a King of Swords in the reverse. This is Libra energy. So you could be a Libra or dealing with the Libra or have Libra in your chart. But this Libra can have a lack of structure and procedure. They can have a weak intellect, irrational, and illogical. So you could be dealing with someone like this, a Libra, a King of Swords in the reverse, who is irrational in a situation. So maybe there is news coming towards you in regards to a Libra in a situation that has been irrational towards you or illogical towards you, collective. Illogical towards some sort of structure that they were trying to build or trying to have you in, collective, but you could be dealing with this King of Swords, this Libra that's been in the reverse. Maybe this Libra wanted things their way. Maybe they were structured in a certain point and they wanted you to fall in line to whatever this structure is or was, collective. So maybe they were trying to follow some sort of procedure when it came to the structure that they have, the structure that they believe in. But they could realize that they have a weak intellect, so whatever they was going by or whatever structure they thought they had or procedure they thought they were following, they could realize that it was just irrational and illogical, collective. Now, I don't know if this is someone that wanted to travel towards you or come towards you in some sort of way, but in whatever way that they was trying to come towards you, collective, could have been very irrational and illogical, and they could be now noticing that. Then we have the King of Cups in the reverse, Pisces energy. So there could be a Pisces that's emotionally immature. This could be a male, so this could be a male Pisces who's emotionally immature, overly emotional, and has the inability to cope. They could be having anxiety. I don't know if they're having anxiety in regards to a Libra that wants to come towards you, or these people could just be in the reverse because they know that some sort of news is coming to you, collective, and it's coming to you in haste, coming to you with speed, collective, in regards to some progress that you want to take, collective. Maybe these people didn't want you to have progress in the situation, collective, but they could be in the reverse now, feeling like they have a weak intellect. Maybe they wanted to stop this news from coming towards you, collective, because they didn't want you to travel somewhere. They didn't want you to go to a certain place or move away from a certain area or certain people, collective. So they could be in a reverse. This Libra feeling like they got a weak intellect because whatever structure they build, whatever procedure they was trying to um, have going on, or whatever what procedure they was trying to do, it didn't work. So they could be viewing themselves as having a weak intellect, while this Pisces involved in this situation could be overly emotional at this time. They could have the inability to cope whatever what with whatever this information is that you're receiving, collective, or whatever you're doing when it comes to travel. If you are traveling away from this person, or if you're far away from this person, they could be very emotional because of this, and they have the inability to cope because they didn't want you to travel away from them or a situation, collective. Or like I said, they could just also be someone that didn't want you to receive some sort of news or some sort of offer. If this is a love offer of some sort, they didn't want this, collective, and this could have brought them great anxiety, collective, because they are emotionally immature, whoever this Pisces is. And then we have the lovers in the reverse, Gemini energy. So there could also be a Gemini involved in this. They could have trust issues. They could be filled with conflict. They could be disconnected at this time, rather disconnected when it comes to a lover, or disconnected when it comes to just the world. They could be disconnected from the world, collective, at this time. They could have a sense of responsibility, collective. So whoever this Gemini is, they could not be wanting to take responsibility for something that they have done. Like I said, if this is in regards to some sort of romance, some sort of offer, maybe these were suitors or past people that you've dealt with or people that want to deal with you, collective. But these people are immature and they have trust issues. They are filled with conflict, collective. And maybe they just was in a certain energy in the reverse because they were doing things so you will not receive a certain offer, or like I said, travel to a certain place. If you traveled away from them, they could realize all this conflict that they were stirring up cause you to move away from them instead of wanting to be close to them. And then we have the Page of Swords in the upright now, also Gemini energy. So this Gemini could be delaying messages. Maybe they are curious about something, curious about you, collective, curious about a situation, but they could be wanting to message you or message someone. Like I said, maybe this is where the news is coming from, this Gemini, but whatever message that they have for you, they could be delaying this, collective. I don't know if they don't know what to say, collective, but they could be delaying this message that they're wanting to send to you. Maybe they feel like they need patience in the situation because they don't know how to come to you and say whatever needs to be said or do whatever needs to be done, but they could feel like they're needing patience in the situation. They could be getting ideas at this time or trying to pace themselves so that they could get new ideas in the situation on how to come towards you, collective. But they could be inspired, collective. They could be planning something at this time. Maybe they don't want to send you this message until they plan out whatever they're trying to plan, collective. So maybe they're trying to think this through so that they could come to you correctly or come to you once they have their plan all planned out. They could be protective at this time. Maybe they're protective over you, protective over a situation, collective, but they could be defensive at this time. They could be wanting to bring fairness to you, collective, or fairness in a situation. So they could be thinking before they speak at this time. Like I said, they could be feeling like they need patience in the situation. So they could be delaying these messages because they want to think before they speak. So they want to think out what they have to say to you before they send whatever this message is, collective. But once they figure this out, they'll be sending you this message quickly, coming towards you quickly, or what so have you. This could be what this travel or news is in regards to. So maybe this person is wanting to message you with some sort of news, collective. And we have the choice and the upright Aries energy. So there could be an Aries also involved. This could be one of your choices. Like I said, if this is romantic offers, this could just be people, like I said, you once dealt with, or people that want to deal with you, collective. And Aries could be one of these choices, as you see choice up top. So, whoever this Aries is, they can have two paths when it comes to which way they want to go or who they want to choose in a situation. They have a decision to make. They could be planning as well. They could feel like the gas. I said the gas. The grass is always greener on the other side. So if this is someone that's somewhere else right now, maybe they want to be with someone else or travel somewhere else because they feel like the grass is greener on the other side. This could be an immigrant of some sort. They could be trying to decide if they should leave somewhere or leave someone, or if they should stay in a situation. So they could be filled with anticipation, they could be restless, and they could be alienated at this time because they're trying to figure out what choice to make, what decision will be the best decision, trying to see if the grass is going to be greener on the other side. So they could be weighing their options, trying to choose or decide what choice would be best. Then we have love in the reverse, Cancer energy. So there could be a Cancer also involved that's feeling disconnected. They could be feeling imbalanced at this time, unequal, incompatible with someone. They could be in an unhappy relationship. Now, I don't know if this Cancer is dealing with this Aries collective, or this Cancer could just be in an unhappy relationship with someone else, but they could be feeling disconnected from whoever this person they're dealing with. Now, I don't know if they're dealing with this Gemini, because both of these cards have disconnected. So both of these people are feeling disconnected, maybe feeling disconnected from someone or a situation, collective, whether you or a certain situation, but they're feeling imbalanced at this time. They could be feeling incompatible with you, collective. Like I said, if this is love offers, this could be someone who feels incompatible with you, collective. Maybe because they cannot connect with you. Maybe it's hard for them to connect with you, so they're feeling disconnected and imbalanced. They feel like they're not equal to you, collective. Then we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse as well. Sagittarius energy. So a Sagittarius could also be involved, collective. Whoever the Sagittarius is in all this, they could be arrogant, reckless, hyperactive, daring, overconfident, and a show off. So whoever this Knight of Wands is, they could like to rush in with their wands, so they could be very sexual. So if this is a love offer or a choice of yours or option of yours, collective, they could be someone who is very sexual in a situation. They could be a show off. They could be someone who is very arrogant, feel like they're top choice, top thing, collective. So maybe they feel like that they will be the top choice out of all these choices that you have, collective. So they could, like I said, they could be someone who's overconfident, feeling like they're going to be chose in the situation, collective, out of all these choices. Then we have marriage in the upright, Pisces energy. So I don't know if these are suitors who are wanting to get married, collective, or if this Pisces wants to get married, collective. They could be wanting to be happy, collective, or they could be in a happy marriage. They could have a happy family, or they could be wanting a reunion with someone that they could see themselves having a happy marriage with. They could be wanting to come home to someone, have a gathering of some sort, whether this is a marriage or just a reunion of some sort. But whoever this Pisces is wanting to come together with someone. Like I said, this is someone that isn't married. They could want to marry someone collective. Now, I don't know if this option is the one that's traveling to you or bringing news to you, or you could just be getting different offers from these people collective. But whoever this Pisces is, they want a long term relationship with you. They see long term, they see marriage with you collective. And we have Pisces out here twice, so I don't know if you dealt with Pisces in the past, and this is a new Pisces collective. But whoever the Pisces is in the past, they are in the reverse, and this is someone that is emotionally immature. So if that is an option for you, I definitely wouldn't choose that option. Or if this is the same Pisces because it came below that Pisces as well, maybe this Pisces, this newer Pisces, or just this Pisces in general, they could be filled with anxiety because maybe they don't know what you're going to say if they come and offer you marriage collective, or if they come and tell you that they want a long term relationship with you, they want a happy family with you, collective, they could be anxiety over coming to offer you this because they don't know what your response would be. But they could be acting immature at this time because they could be over emotional about you, about the situation. They could have the inability to cope because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what you're going to say, how you're going to react. So they could just be in their emotions at this time, collected. Then we have the Hierophant in the reverse Taurus energy. So a Taurus could also be here, but this could be someone who is non traditional. They could like to challenge people's traditions, collective. If you are someone who is traditional, they want to challenge your traditional to see if they can reverse the roles onto you so that you could be someone who is non traditional if you're normally traditional. So this could be someone who lives a non-traditional lifestyle. They like non-traditional relationships, open relationships, relationships where there's a lot of cheating, where they're not really committed collective. So I definitely wouldn't choose the Taurus, this Hierophant in the reverse. And then we have making investments in the reverse Taurus energy as well. So this Taurus could be someone who is bad for business. They could have bad financial management. They could be someone who doesn't like to finish what they start. Like I said, if this is someone who is non traditional, they could get into relationships and not like to finish what they start with that person because they could be someone who runs off cheating and doing other things except for what they're supposed to do. So this could be someone who doesn't like to keep their promises. So they could say they're going to do one thing and not do another. So they could start investing in something or someone and then stop and not finish what they started or what they claim to have come in to want to do. So whoever the Taurus is, definitely bad for business. Definitely not a good choice collective. Then we have defeat in the reverse, and this is Aquarius energy. So there could be an Aquarius involved as well. But this Aquarius, they could be wanting to bring a peaceful resolution in the situation. They could be moving on from something or someone. They could be trying to compromise or wanting to compromise in the situation. Whatever this compromise is could bring a peaceful resolution in the situation. They could be wanting to communicate with someone where there was a lot of conflict collective, but they could be ending whatever this conflict is, wanting to communicate and tell someone that they're willing to end the conflict with them so that they can have a peaceful resolution. So if they want they're wanting to come in and communicate with you, collective. If you guys had a conflict with whoever this Aquarius is, they could be wanting to communicate with you and tell you that they're either moving on from the situation with you or moving on with a situation with someone else, but they want to have peace with you, peace in the situation. So they could be wanting to compromise now after all the conflict. So this person could be putting their sword down, collective. As you see, the sword is down from these two in the back, and they're still standing up, but this is in the reverse. And then conflict. So they could be finally wanting to put their sword down, collective. So, like I said, this could just be multiple suitors of yours, collective, people you dealt with and people you haven't dealt with. But you could be getting news from these people wanting to come in and communicate with you. People want to give their offers to you, collective. Maybe all this conflict dealing with these suitors could have had you in a reverse energy. Could have had you feeling lonely because you didn't want to deal with anybody because of all the conflict, the immaturity, the irrational things that these suitors were doing. Like I said, the conflict that they were sending towards you could have had you in an energy to where you didn't want to be around anybody, didn't want to deal with anybody. So you could have been lonely, but lonely by choice because of all this conflict could have caused you to withdraw from these suitors, from these lovers, from the situation as a whole. You could have traveled away from this situation or traveled away from these people, like I said, collective. Maybe some of these suitors wanted you to have a lack of money and poor financial control because you didn't want to deal with them, collective, because you saw them as immature, because of the conflict that they decided to have with you or put around you, collective. Maybe you lost opportunities because of some of these suitors and the conflict that they brought towards you, collective. But it seemed like only people, damn, everybody in a reverse. Well, I wouldn't say the Aquarius is in a reverse, even though it is in a reverse, but they're wanting to come to a peaceful resolution. So I wouldn't say they're necessarily in the reverse, but maybe this is someone that you're moving on from, or this person could be finally seeing that you don't want to deal with them, so they could be finally moving on from you, collective. So choices I have, there could be a Gemini that's curious about you, collective, wanting to send you a message. There could be an Aries who's trying to choose between you and someone else. And there could be a Pisces that's wanting marriage with you, collective. So we got four people in the upright, technically, but the Aquarius you could be moving on from. So it's only three that's necessarily in the upright that would possibly be good choices. And like I said, which is this Gemini who's curious about you, this Aries who has a choice between two, and this Pisces that wants marriage with you. But that's your choice, collective, on who you want to pick. Like I said, we already went through everybody and the energy that they hold, the energy that they bring, and what they've done in the situation, how they've handled the situation, collective. So you will know who you want to deal with and who you don't want to deal with. I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to deal with someone who is irrational. I wouldn't want to deal with no one who is overly emotional and immature. I wouldn't want to deal with anyone who brings me a lot of conflict, collective. I wouldn't want to be with someone who is non traditional, especially if I'm traditional. So you just got to weed out the good and the bad. I want the good and not the bad. I mean, things ain't going to be perfect, but you don't want someone willingly want to make things hard or bring drama and conflict when it could, it shouldn't be any. So, like we said, from travel and news, there could be some sort of, like I said, news coming to you that is going to give you freedom. Maybe you needed freedom from a certain person, collective. Maybe someone was trying to hold you hostage, didn't want to move on from you, didn't want you to move on from them, collective. And you could be getting freedom from them. Like I said, I don't know if it's this Aquarius that's wanting to finally compromise and move on from a situation. Maybe you felt felt bound to them or trapped to them, collective, or just trapped in the situation that these lovers tried to have you in, collective. Anymore. All right, so we got love. Love can conquer everything. So this is definitely a love reading, and like I said about these suitors of yours, whether new or old or both. And then we have true love. True love appears when you are least expected. So there could be some sort of news coming in about a true love, collective. This could be coming in very soon. Someone could be taking action towards you, maybe because they see you as their true love, collective, and they feel like love could conquer everything. Maybe you're not expecting this true love to come in, or you cannot be expecting true love at all because, like I said, because of all the conflict, these suitors try to have you in or have around you in this immaturity. You could have just wanted to be alone, collective. You wanted to be alone. You wanted to be withdrawn. You've been antisocial. So maybe you felt like you being alone and antisocial that this couldn't come in or this wasn't for you. Because normally what they say is if you don't put yourself out there to get love, then how is it going to come towards you? So if you're someone that's been alone, not wanting to speak to nobody, engage with anybody. Maybe you thought that it was not possible for someone to try to come towards you, but when you least expect it, true love appears. So, like I said, they could be appearing, rather sending you some sort of news, rather by message, phone call, traveling towards you, collective, in some sort of way. They're going to get what they need to get off their chest or make this romantic offer to you in some sort of way. And we have let go. Some things are best let go and let the universe work it out in its divine timing. So maybe it was divine timing for someone to finally let you go. Like I said, if someone was holding you hostage, someone wasn't wanting you to deal with other suitors, um, it could have been divine timing for them to actually move on and release the situation with you, collective. Or maybe you needed to let go of something or someone in a situation, collective. Maybe let go of trying to have love if this was multiple suitors that you've had in the past, collective. Like I said, this could be suitors that you've dealt with and suitors that wanted to deal with you, collective. But either way, you could have just let love go, letting the um, thought of even having love go. You could have let it go. You could have just released it and said, if it's for me, it will come to me. If not, it just is what it is. I'm cool with being lonely type shit. But you, by you letting go of the outcome of it, letting go of what you want it to be or what you thought it should have been or how it should have came or whatsoever, you letting it go was you letting the universe work it out in its divine timing. So whenever this true love does appear, it will be in divine time. And then we have telepathy, close soul connections, harmoniously synchronized reenactment of telepathic moments. So, whoever this true love is that you have a true soul connection with, you guys could be telepathically communicating, collective. Maybe you're getting this news by telepathic communication. And we have twin flame. So, this could be a twin flame of yours, collective. Twin flames themselves contain an aspect of each other's personality. So, whoever this twin flame is, you guys could be alike in one way or another. You guys could just have a lot in common. Your personalities could be similar or damn near the same. You could realize you share the same personality with this person or traits of their personality that are the same because they are your twin flame and you guys are connected by the soul. It's a soul connection. Then we have illusion. Avoid the trap of mistaken fantasy for real soul connection. So, collective, you could have been in an illusion when it came to certain suitors, feeling like they were your true loves, feeling like um, they were real soul connections when some of them could have just been there to teach you a lesson, or they could have been there to teach you what you wanted and what you didn't want it in this situation, or as far as love goes. And like I said, you could have been in a illusion when dealing with certain people, collective. Maybe you thought some of these people were your true loves, and that's why you dealt with them, not realizing that they were just lessons for you to learn to see what you actually wanted and needed and what you didn't. So, if you're still in this illusion, avoid the trap of mistaken fantasy for real soul connection. So, these people could have just been fantasy. So, maybe it was just something about these people that you liked on the outer, or certain things that these people came with that fulfilled your fantasy in some way, shape, or form. But they wasn't a real soul connection. Only real soul connection you have is with your twin flame, which you could not be with, couldn't experience an actual connection with, just been telepathically connecting with this person. So you could have mistaken a lot of connections because of the fantasy that it gave off. And then we have intense. So whatever this soul connection is, this twin flame connection is very intense. The intensity of a true soul connection includes highs and lows. If this is someone that you know already, collected, this connection could have came with a lot of highs and lows, collected. Like I said, there could have been a lot of conflict surrounding it, or just you guys not realizing that you share certain aspects of each other's personalities. And that could have been a clash because you guys shared some of the same aspects of each other's personalities. So the connection could have came with a lot of highs but yet lows at the same time. So this could be someone that you shared a lot of good times with or saw yourself having a lot of good times with collective. But because of the lows, it probably didn't get up off the ground or didn't go too far or what so have you. And then we have union. The union of divine soul counterparts is a miraculous event that begins when you least expect it. So, again, we already had true love appears when you least expect it. So, you guys could be getting this union when you're not expecting it, collective. And we have observe. Notice all the noteworthy things in your relationship. So maybe you needed to appreciate the relationship for everything that was actually worthy, everything that you needed to take notes on in regards to making the relationship better, or just the things that was good in the relationship versus the things that was bad in the relationship. Or maybe you just needed to sit back and observe, collective. Then we have trust. You need trust in a relationship for it to thrive, as we all know, but you could be someone who don't really trust, collective. So maybe you needed to sit back and observe a person to see if they will be someone that you wanted to be in a relationship with. Maybe observe someone patterns because you did not trust them, collective, or vice versa. They could have been doing this to you as well because they didn't trust you, collective, or they didn't trust in the relationship with you or even having a relationship with you. Maybe someone was in a illusion dealing with fantasies and not realizing that they actually had a real soul connection with you, collective. And maybe they didn't realize it because they were overtaken by the illusion of fantasies that they were dealing with when it comes to people that they were dealing with. They may have not wanted to deal with realizing that you were the real soul connection because it was too intense for them. So they could have tried to communicate telepathically with you instead of coming to you straightforward, coming to you face to face, letting you know how they feel or what they felt or what they were being told. Because the universe could have been um, telling them to let go of something. The universe could have been communicating to them, telling them that you are actually their twin flame, and maybe they just didn't trust. And we could get some. I know that Claire kind of crazy. That he ain't go nowhere. Shiitake anymore. And so we got recognition. The universe will help you recognize signs and miracles. So there could be some sort of signs around you, collective. There could be signs that this person is trying to telepathically communicate with you, signs around you that this person is actually your twin flame, collective, signs around you to let go of certain situations or certain people, collective. But there could be some signs around you. There could be some signs around you in regards to some sort of travel you want to take. Like I said, if this is you or another person, some sort of news that's coming towards you. Maybe there's some news about recognition. You could be getting recognition for something. You could be getting recognition for letting go of certain things, certain people, or certain habits of some sort, collective. There could be miracles coming to you. One of those miracles could be for this true love to appear when you're least expected. It could be a miracle in regards to some sort of news that's coming towards you as well. And then we have tree. Tell the tree what you really think. So you may need to hug a tree. Mhm. Tell a tree what you really think about the situation. Really think in regards to a certain person. Now, me personally, I wouldn't talk to a tree, but I don't know. Maybe this is like the tree of life when when people have like them little I don't know how what you call them things. It's kind of like a souvenir or whatever, but a little statue or whatever, but it's like the tree of life, like something that you could get from metaphysical store or something like that. But now you could tell that what you think. But in regards to a tree, the most I would do is hug it. As they say, you hug trees or whatever. Then we have deep. Look deeply within and discover your soul purpose in relationships. So you may have needed to go deep and realize what was your place or why you came into contact with certain people, why it was meant for you to have certain relationships, or why certain relationships went the way that they went. But maybe you had to look within, go deep, and figure out what was your purpose in these people's lives. Like I said, maybe you had trouble with letting go in the past, collective. So you could have learned how to let go of certain people, certain situations, or just you could have learned the right time to let go, collective, when it came to certain relationships that you dealt with. You may have needed to look deep and realize what inside of you was causing you to deal with certain people that you were dealing with in the past. Look deep and within to realize what you actually wanted for yourself in regards to a relationship and what you didn't want. So not only did you need the experience of dealing with these people, because it could have caused you to look deep and go within and realize your purpose in these relationships that you had. And then we have rekindle. Every relationship has those magical moments that can be rekindled. So even though this soul connection could be very intense or could have been very intense and with a lot of highs and lows, there could have been more highs than it was lows, collective, and you could have shared a lot of magical moments with whoever this person is, and you may want to rekindle that or rekindle with the person in general because you realize that the relationship or the connection had more highs than it had lows. And then we have emotion. Look into the depths of your emotions. So, collective, you could be looking into your emotions and why you feel a certain way about a certain person at this time. You may need to look deep and figure out why you have these emotions and where they come from, collective. What sparked these emotions within you in regards to dealing with this person or dealing with certain people? Maybe your emotions ran deep when it came to certain people and you didn't know why. And we have indication. Watch for signs that led you to true love. So you may need to watch the signs like we already have, recognize the signs and the miracles, because there could have been some sort of signs that led you to a true love collective, whether this is something, some news that came towards you, or some travel that you took collective that led you to this true love. Then we have feelings. Take the time to explore the deep emotions you are experiencing, which I feel like we got this 3 times pretty much because they're saying the same thing. So maybe you're needing to take time through this lonely period, or this period of you wanting to be by yourself, this period of you being restricted. You could have been in your feelings about something or about someone, or just in your feelings in general, and you needed to take time so that you could explore your emotions and why you felt like you felt, or why you were experiencing certain things, like I said. And then we have attract. The appeal of soul pairing goes beyond superficiality. So, like I said, someone, if you or the other party could have been in an illusion because they liked superficial things. So they liked fantasy over true soul connections. So you, if you were the one in the illusion collective, you could have been someone who sought out superficial things, superficial people, people that were your fantasy, people that wanted to, how do I say this? That wanted to give you what you wanted and not necessarily what you needed. Like you were just looking at things on the outer. Like it could have been fake, but because they was a fantasy of yours, or they came with a fantasy of yours, or they could fulfill a fantasy of yours. It was just superficial because it wasn't really true. It wasn't what you really wanted. It wasn't really love. It was just something that you either attracted or that you were attracted to. So you could have fell for a lot of different people thinking that they were your true love or something because they came with things that were superficial that you thought was true. Then we have synchronicity. Divine soul matches have amazing moments of synchronicity or synchrony. So you could be seeing a lot of synchronicities when coming towards this person or wanting to communicate with this person, or this person could be seeing a lot of synchronicities while traveling to you collective, or in the process of wanting to communicate with you. They could be seeing synchronicities, saying synchronicities that you are their divine partner, that your souls do align. And then we have honor. Treat the people you love with respect, and you'll find your relationship becomes stronger. So maybe you needed to learn how to respect the people that you love, or maybe they needed to learn how to respect you collective. Maybe you were in relationships with people that weren't respecting you, or didn't know how to respect you, or maybe because of your boundaries that you had, or the lack of boundaries you had, they felt like they could disrespect you and you didn't deserve honor and respect. But that's what I am getting. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so stopped up today. Ew. I've been so drained, y'all. I don't even understand. Any more messages for the collective? Any more? All right, so we got planting seeds. What you see grows. Make sure you are planting good seeds in good soil. Excuse me. Then we have ancient Egyptian goddess. So you could be an ancient Egyptian goddess. Then we have ancestral protection, shielding and protecting you from psychic attacks, clearing away blockages, shaman accessing your gifts and healing abilities. So, collective, like I was saying, if it could go both ways, you could have had problems of letting go of certain situations, or people could have had issues with letting you go, which was causing, damn, which is causing blockages for you, collective. Then dealing with all the conflict from certain lovers, this could have needed you to be protected in some shape or form. Maybe there was people or lovers that was coming in to block your gifts and healing abilities. Maybe they didn't want you to heal because without you being healed, you were putting up with certain things that you shouldn't have been putting up with, or just being toxic. Like I said, dealing with a lot of conflict, dealing with people who were immature. So with you unhealed, you could have been dealing with people that were unhealed as well. With you being able to heal, you're going to want to deal with someone who is healed. So they could have been trying to block you from healing because they wanted you to continue to deal with them or people like them. And maybe some of these people knew that you were gifted and they didn't like your gifts. They didn't like the fact that you saw through them or you saw certain things collected that they didn't want you to see. So they could have been trying to access your gifts. Some of these you could have been dealing with warlocks. And they could have been trying to access your gifts. They've been trying to block you as well. So you could have been getting ancestral protection or needing ancestral protection to shield you and protect you from psychic attacks if you were dealing with warlocks as well that were sending you attacks because they didn't want you to heal. Then we have generational curse breaker, breaking all curses on your lineage. So you could have been in the process of breaking a generational curse. Maybe people of your lineage dealt with a lot of things that they shouldn't have dealt with, or they could have been people that just remain unhealed or deal with a lot of people that were unhealed, collective, and you could have broke the curse um, in your lineage in regards to love, in regards to boundaries, and how you're supposed to be treated because you are an ancient Egyptian goddess. So you may have needed to break a curse in regards to love and how you love and how you're able to be loved because maybe you were taught something different or a different way, or what was toxic was actually real love when really it wasn't. So, yeah. Then we have Lost Boy. Seeking acceptance, trouble, in need of mentor and guidance. So there could be someone, or you could have dealt with a lot of lost boys, collective, because we're not going to call them men. So you could have dealt with a lot of people that were just lost, people that were seeking acceptance, people that acted out in a certain way or treated people a certain way or just done things a certain way or felt that love should go a certain way or they should love people a certain way because they could have been seeking acceptance from certain people, collective. They could have been troubled in the mind because they could have been confused on which way to go. They could have needed a mentor, some guidance when it came to how to deal with lovers or what's really love and what's not love, collective. This could have just been a lot of people that were lost in regards to what love really was and what it really looks like. Then we have you hold the key to your destiny. So, collective, you can hold the key to your destiny. Even after dealing with a lot of these unhealed, lost people, collective, that try to keep you lost as well. And then we have healer. So you could be a healer, you could be a natural healer who breaks generational curses on your lineage, collective. But y'all, that was your reading. Hope you guys enjoyed. Deuces, I holla.